I was nowhere, I never knew where I would actually land.
From genetics, what made you move into biotechnology?
So this combination was a right fit at that point of a time.
If I can ask you, what was the reason?
I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
So were you involved in sales as well?
We have to really define what is the customer service. Your customer, our customer was the logo.
What made you join IBM?
I wanted to get into a company where they are global. They're really big.
Life was easy for you.
Yeah. We give an opportunity for people to grow. A company like an IBM who maintain a matrix-based parameters.
Why you moved to TCS? Namaskar, this is Srilata Shankar. We at ITTV are conducting a series of leadership talks with CEOs, CTOs, COOs, CMOs, CHROs, etc. Along with the leadership talks of C-suite professionals, we are also going to conduct founders and CEOs of startup ecospace. In this context, today we have Suresh Tanneeru with us. Suresh, welcome to ITTV.
Welcome, ma'am.
Suresh, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Same here.
We would like to start with what your journey is. And I understand you are a master's in biotechnology, then moved to IIM Bangalore, and then worked with IT companies, then moved to an agri-industry incubation center. You're also into the startup ecospace of Robaxo. I want you to go tell our viewers about your journey, please.
Thank you. So when I started my career, I was nowhere. I never knew where I would actually land. But I had that spirit of entrepreneurship in my mindset. Even during my degree, even in my masters, we used to do all small jobs and kind of a business, and all. We miserably failed. So though I am from a very middle class the background, I had a big aspirations of becoming an entrepreneur. My parents want me to get to the biotechnology, wanted to research. I wanted to become a doctor, get into research. Yeah, that was, I really liked it. But at point of a time, my entrepreneurship was actually picking every time that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So I did my the masters in biotechnology. Then I was doing research in CCMB and IICT, specifically on a project called apoptosis, a programmed cell death. The theory was not published though.
All right, what's your graduation from?
I did my graduation from Usman University in genetics, specialization in genetics. Then I took biotechnology and bioinformatics for my masters.
From genetics, what made you move into biotechnology?
Because the genetics is more of understanding how the genes and the combination works. At that time, the technology was a recombinant technology, and that technology was more on biotechnology and bioinformatics. So you really have to understand the gene level coding, how the gene works, how the recombinant works. You really have to master the computers. At the same time, you really have to master the genetics. So this combination was a right fit at that point of a time, and I had a great projection that there will be a great opportunities in computers as well as the genetics. So that created a lot of curiosity. I was really good at the masters. I secured good marks, and then I had a dream project that I should work on cancerous. Then I took this the subject called apoptosis, a programmed cell death. Only person who was doing research was the director of a CCMB, Lalji Singh. That was, getting to him was a difficult task, and even getting an appointment was a difficult task. I wrote almost like a 30 pages the write-up. Why am I interested in doing that research with him? So he finally asked me to come to his office. I happened to meet him. I said, "You don't even pay me, I'm absolutely fine, but I wanted to do this research." And he said, "It's a costly affair." Then I did almost like 1 year research in collaboration with IICT. That was successful, but could not able to publish though in any of the journal. Then,
if I can ask you, what was the reason?
at that time, my friends all got into the jobs. Everyone was getting into corporate. They were earning pretty solid after masters, but I was just stuck with what I wanted to do. I was not even earning money. So I got into a very bad situation where I need money. And then I thought, okay, I should actually join somewhere, and nothing related to biotechnology. I got one opportunity to work in a call center, the company called 24/7. So the 24/7 first initiated in Bangalore, and the first founding team was in Hyderabad. At that time, Gateway, Cyber Gateway was the biggest campus, and I got fascinated. Wow, this is an excellent the campus. And because daytime I was doing research and nighttime I can actually work, that was giving good money for me. Then I thought, okay, I should actually join the call center. But the point was, I was not a good English speaker. I come from a Telugu background. Then I brushed up my skills. Somehow I was able to talk little English here and there. Then they gave me a chat process where I need to do chatting and email system. Then 6 months I picked up on English. They moved to voice process, where I used to speak with the customers in US and UK. In span of 6 months, my communications increased a lot and my confidence boosted up. That was the primary thing which is required for an entrepreneur. Then my aspirations again clicked. I should learn some leadership skills. I should learn some management skills. Then I was searching for a few programs. I happened to visit few of the institute. At that time, IIPM was one of the big planning and management was one of the biggest institute.
In fact, I taught there at Hyderabad.
Correct. So I could not able to get through, and the fees were bombshell at that point of time. I could not even afford. Then I happened to request one of our executive. 24/7 at that time was a very small organization. It used to be like a 300 or 400. Nagarajan was actually the COO, and I happened to approach him saying that I have aspirations of studying. Would you be able to sponsor? Without any question, he said, go ahead and do it. I would like to sponsor someone like you. And he gave me an opportunity to write a corporate the entrance, and I got selected. I got, I think, 7th rank in the corporate. So they sponsored people from Deloitte, Dell, and 24/7. I was the one. So we studied there. It was almost like a 2 years. It is an applied management kind of a thing. So
it's not that you can pass CAT and then get into the program.
Correct. It is not a general CAT. It is more of a corporate entrance where you would be specific to few programs like entrepreneurship and general management was my choice. So few of them, they took another the general leadership program. You have the program management, the program kind of, but it is.
So for our students, for the benefit of our students, if you can tell what's the difference between a CAT MBA and a corporate MBA?
So it used to be two different the subjects or the programs. So the program that we used to get into is an applied management, right? You have to learn, do the application in the organization, right? We used to have classes 3 days a week, every Saturday, Sunday, and once in a week. So it used to be Friday or Thursday or something like that, but it's a 3 days if mandate for us. So we have to be from morning to evening. And whatever that we learn, we have to apply it in the company where we got sponsorship, and we have to show an improvement or we have to show a value. So I took a customer service management. At that time, Kingfisher was launching, so I worked very close with the Kingfisher team. So how the customer service management has to be. So we designed the customer service, we designed customer service portfolio, we designed customer service catalog, and the same we applied in 24/7 as well as the Kingfisher. And I got a good applause from Kingfisher as well as from my company. It was 2 years course, but I spent 5 years in 24/7. I applied all my learnings in 24/7, was able to bring the team from 200 when I was working, and by the time when I was coming, it was a 5,000 employee team, and I was at a program management level. And that's the exposure I got it from IIM and being in 24/7.
All right. So what I understand is when you work, when you're doing a course, you also continue to work with 24/7.
Correct. Exactly.
And you were able to develop the business from 300, 400 to 5,000 employees.
Correct. Exactly.
So were you involved in sales as well?
Yes, we are involved in the sales as well. So at that time, customer service was more. I mean, the sales are depend on the customer service. We have to really define what is the customer service, right? In fact, the logo, if you see, your customer, our customer was the logo. Like so, that was the kind of definitions we used to do, and we used to make sure the customer service the levels are really high with the competitors, and we used to design the entire catalog. I mean, how we actually do that customer service, right from wishing to the customer and pausing the customer, placing him on the hold. How do you actually acknowledge the customer? These are all called catalog, right? So we used to train people, get that, perform in front of the customer. We used to bring the projects. So small project of 10 members, 20 members, scaled up to like 200, 300 employees in different projects. And that used to be our targets.
Right. After your management course, you joined IBM. What made you join IBM?
So by the time we grown from 200 to 5,000 employees, I got a very good confidence. That was a startup when I joined 24/7. At that time, I wanted to get into a company where they are global, right? They're really big. When I actually saw IBM was one of them, then I thought, okay, I should actually understand how IBM works, how management practices are, how it handles the customers globally. Then it was a random interview for one of the program management, the opportunity. So the office was just behind my office. So I told my managers, I just want to try. I just want to try and go. So I happened there.
Life was easy for you.
Yeah. I went there, I gave an interview, and they said, it was 2 rounds of interview. I gave an interview and they said, you're through. Then I came to my manager. I just want to try, but I got an opportunity. Should I move or not? He said, definitely you should take an opportunity. And we always welcome people who comes up with a better experience and come back to 24/7. And I went to Nagarajan, who was the COO. Even now he was the COO. So I asked him, like, I got an opportunity like this. Should I move or stay back? And he said, absolutely fine. We give an opportunity for people to grow, right? At that time, IBM was a small part of 24/7. So he said, definitely go, understand the management practices, you grow yourself, absolutely fine. But make sure you serve the notice period and things like that. So I served the notice period, went a good note. Even if I ping today to Nagarajan, he says, hello, where are you? Can you come for a tea? So that kind of relationship I maintained with 24/7 with IBM. So the purpose of me going to IBM is to learn the management practices in a matrix based, or a company like an IBM who maintain a matrix based parameters.
What were you dealing with in IBM?
So IBM, I was more into delivery. So because I come from a pharma background and biotechnology background, they gave me a customer called Johnson and Johnson. So for anyone to deal the delivery, they have to have a domain knowledge. So I come from a domain knowledge of a pharma. So they gave me that project. So we initiated the project. Again, that was a kickstart project. We started with a team of 5 members, and we grew that team to 120 plus the employees, a big team located both in Hyderabad and Bangalore. So I was dealing more with the customer on the delivery side. It was almost like a 7 years journey in IBM. Got to a level of a program management. Most of the leadership knows me. Then I thought it is very important for me to start my entrepreneurship journey, because every time when I'm doing it, my entrepreneurship, the idea keeps clicking. Whenever I think, oh, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So at the 7th year, I took a pause to do my entrepreneurship journey, and I started my own IT firm there.
After IBM, you moved to TCS.
Yes.
Tell us why you moved to TCS and what were you doing in TCS?
So before I moved to TCS, I wanted to try my entrepreneurship journey. So I started a company called ITServe. So it's an IT company, an offshore center for one of the UK client. So we did it for almost like 1 year, which is again a BOT project, built, operate and transfer. So we built a team, operated, and we transferred to the customer. Then I got a high confidence. Yep, I can actually build a team. Anyhow, I can build a team. Then one thing that actually was missing me is how an Indian based companies manage. One side I came from a startup called 24/7. Then I got into a matrix based organization, IBM, well exposure and management exposure. Then I wanted to see how Indian based companies transform to a $1 billion business. I really wanted to get an exposure. So then again, it is a random interview. There was actually senior delivery manager the role. So I went there, I got it, I got through. A good package. Package was not a priority for me. Then I thought, okay, I wanted to be in Hyderabad. A very new location would be a good thing. Then Adibatla location was actually getting set up. So I was actually given an opportunity to work in Adibatla. Really wanted to understand how Indian IT companies works. So worked there for 3 years, really understood how the Indian based company works. Now I have a flavor of working and expertise of the multinational companies, an Indian grown billion-dollar company. Then the third year I thought, okay, I should actually again start my entrepreneurship journey, and I got a project.
As an entrepreneur, you've built the agri space, you've been in the agri industry, you've also been in the IT industry. That's Robaxa for everybody who, students who need to know what Robaxa is, he'll walk us through Robaxa. He also is working on NERS. So we'll come to it one by one. You can tell us about your agri business, please.
Yeah, sure. So once I've actually stepped into IT, I really got a confidence my companies would run. There's no problem about it. Then I got into a company called Dataflix. So Dataflix, when I started, it was a small team. Now it is more than 120 employees. Then while I was working with the Dataflix, always another corner that I actually slip is, I'm not doing anything where I come from. That is agriculture. My family is agriculture based, except my family. Most of my family members are the farmers. Yeah, so I thought I should do something related to agriculture. Then I started an incubation center called AgriNest, that is called AgriTech's Nest, where we are promoting rural innovation, rural innovators, rural entrepreneurs. So that's a 40,000 SFT, the facility, where we have 3 verticals. Number 1 is FPO, farmer producer organizations. We have 1200 plus farmers enrolled with us as the farmer members. We have a skill and business school where we are skilling the farmers, we are making them on entrepreneurs, small entrepreneurs, and we do have a setup for an incubation center.
Where is this located?
So it is actually 160 kilometers away from Hyderabad, called Kodad. So we have a 40,000 SFT facility. So any rural entrepreneur, if he has some innovative ideas, or if he has some device that can help the farmer, which can reduce their the finance, which can reduce their efforts, we encourage them, we fund them, we help them, and we mostly focus on the rural youth and women, the entrepreneurs there.
So when you're talking about rural youth, do you specifically train or inculcate some value system in terms of the corporate world to the youngsters in the rural villages?
Yeah. So the way we do it is, we have few educated dropouts in villages. There are few people who cannot afford education. They are there. So we pick both of them, but they have to be competent enough. They have some innovative ideas, some thoughts. They have that entrepreneurial mindset. Those are the people we pick them up. There is a series of interventions that happens. We try to understand what is his personality, what is he wanting to, what is his aspirations, will his aspirations stay for long, is he a guy who can really work hard towards his the aspirations and the passions. Those are few of the parameters.
How do you pick these youth?
So we keep doing a lot of activities in and around the community. We have a monthly the meetings that happens, FPO meetings that happens. During that meetings, we try to find out few of the innovators. We do have skilling programs. We actually announce few skilling programs, so they can participate in these skilling programs. They can announce their ideas, concepts, their aspirations. That is number 2. Number 3, we do have couple of events which happens in and around Hyderabad, be it Ag Hub, we have Tea Hub. So when few of those programs related to agriculture, rural sustainability, we fund them to come here, participate in such kind of an events. So these are the 3 areas we identify. Though we are very small, we identify at least like a 6 to 8 the entrepreneurs per cohort, and we help them to grow to a level of enabling their business by themselves. And if they need a small funding and all, we have ours is a seed and angel funding at this point of time. And when they really grow and they are able to scale it up, and when they wanted a funding, we help them to connect with the investors. And that's how I'm actually running the agriculture incubation center. That's one of the passion which I've been dreaming from a long time. I'm able to execute it. We are still small right now, but over a period of time, another 4-5, I'm targeting by 2025, we will be a very matured incubation center collaborated with international agriculture universities as well.
Well, tell us about Robuxa now.
Yeah, so Robuxa is founded by Varma. It's a Singapore-based company focused on the SAP. They build products. They are co-innovation partner for Robuxa. So we build products related to clinical research organization. We already have a couple of products built. SAP takes up product to their customers, and we have the partner agreement or co-innovation agreement in it.
Is
so
there a full form for Robuxa?
We automate their the mandate processes. We automate the entire enterprise the softwares, and that's the Robuxa. Be robotic, and we make those mandate processes or the application robots. So that's called the Robuxa. Okay, so that's founded way back 7 years ago. A very strong team in Singapore, and they wanted to venture as an offshore delivery center in India, Hyderabad. So I'm actually helping Robuxa to grow from the business as well as the team. So when we started last year, 2022, we started with 18 members. Now we are close to 70 plus employees in India, and we recently set up a nearshore in Mexico to serve US. We also set up a nearshore in Malaysia to serve Singapore and Asian customers. So at this point,
so the clinical research is in cancer area or any other field as well?
Any other field, yeah. So this clinical research organization is called Sante, which is in Mexico. So it's a sister concern company, and they've been in the system for the past 10 years. So whatever the product that we built related to clinical research organization gets implemented in Sante, and once that is successful and once we have a foolproof model, we actually scale it up to the other customers. Similarly, SAP take to their clinical research organization customers. Great. And that's how we are building it.
You have another startup venture called NERS, National Employment Regulatory System. This as an HR person is really, sounds really wonderful for me. Can you walk us through the entire, what it entails, what corporate should, whether they should tie up or not with you, and every detail? Can you please talk about it?
Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, when we wanted to start, people comes first, right? So when Robuxa wanted to come to India way back 2019, when we had a COVID impact, we struggled a lot for the resources. A lot of people doing moonlighting, a lot of people are absconding, they're taking too many offers, they're not joining on time, and I've seen people taking more than 5 jobs, 6 jobs. That was the biggest problem. So being an entrepreneur, they cannot sit aside. I mean, these are the problems, real problems. So this is the brainchild of Varma. So he thought we have to do something, right? This is the biggest problem. If we don't solve the problem, it is going to impact the entire IT ecosystem itself, the entire IT business from India. Like how we lost call center industry to the other countries, if this continues, we might lose the entire IT industry to the other countries. So we did a lot of brainstorming, Varma, myself, and our CEO, Mr. Veerendranath. So we did a lot of brainstorming. It was almost like 3 months, 4 months. Then we thought, I think we should build some platform, and how that platform has to be, and how this should help. So that helped us to get to a level of building a platform called NERS. We call it as National Employee Regulatory System, where this platform will help the HR and the recruiters to take a decision. And we build this platform to bring HR best practices. This is going to be one of the HR best practices. Yeah. So what it really helps is, it brings a visibility to the HR about a candidate when a candidate is moving from one company to another company. In this journey, what it really happens is, a guy must have taken too many offers, he must have absconded, he must have joined, and he's actually shopping around, and he's taking too many offers, and he's just taking a chance, right? So this is a risk. This is the biggest problem for the HR and the recruiters. I've seen HR and recruiters go through a lot of pressure, and so by using a platform, it brings in a visibility. It gives a notification to you saying that, hey, this guy has already absconded, this guy has taken 10 offers, this guy has joined recently in another company, he's doing a shopping around.
So this is very interesting for me. How do you understand if an employee has absconded or taken too many offers? He doesn't show it on his CV. He doesn't write it on his CV.
Correct. So this is built on a blockchain framework. So when two companies are in the ecosystem, so a company A adapted to NERS, company B adapted to NERS. So when a guy coming for an interview to company A, so the HR or the recruiter feed in the footage saying that so and so person with the name blah 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 came to interview, he selected, we released an offer letter. When the same guy goes to another company, company B, so when the recruiter, before he actually hires, he can actually check with his first name and the last name and the PAN number whether he's already taken an offer or already joined another company. So this is giving a visibility, and that's the framework that we built. And this is a very simple, and anyone can adapt, and there is no registration fee, nothing like that. So any company, be it startups, mid-size or the big companies, can adapt because there is no charge, and adoption is very easy, registration is very easy, and everyone gets benefited. So the benefit that I'm actually valuing, one resource saving or a decision on one resource is equal to 2 lakh rupees to 3 lakh rupee in Indian currency. So imagine if you are saving 10 resources like that in a month, that's going to big amount for a startup or for a mid-sized company, and the volume of hiring in MNCs is literally high, like 1,000 to 2,000 people, right? So it's going to be a huge value that we are getting. That is number one. Number two is we are stabilizing the entire ecosystem. We are bringing a great culture for an IT ecosystem where the reputation remains the same, like how we did it like 10 years ago or 15 years ago. India be a center for doing the IT business, and that's the impression we are getting to the customers, and that's exactly is NERS. And we are very happy today, as of the recent event, we have 150 startups and mid-sized companies adapted to our NERS. We are looking for 500 customers or the IT companies adapting to NERS. We wanted to bring this value to bigger organizations like HiC, NASSCOM, what value we are able to bring in, and we wanted to make this an enforcement system for the entire IT ecosystem, to bring back this the culture and to bring back that name, India, a center for doing IT business. And that's the vision, mission and the objective that we actually got the NERS.
Suresh, that's a wonderful journey. Let's talk about your entrepreneurship journey. Our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, has always given a lot of initiatives and lots of inputs for the Startup India and Made in India. Along with him, our IT Minister, Mr. K.T. Ramarao, is giving a lot of initiatives for the Startup India. So what do you suggest are 3 or 5 points that you would suggest or advise our engineering students or our management students who are passing out in 2023, 2024? What are the pointers that you would give them to start up their own entrepreneurship?
Now, if you look at the index, the innovation index or the startup index, we were at 50 or 60, now we are in top 10, right? That's the growth. The initiative by central government, the initiative by state government, the Startup India and the MSME programs. In Telangana, we have T-Hub, we have V-Hub, we have T-Works, the prototyping facility. Every college is coming up with an incubation centers and acceleration centers. There's a lot of grants, fundings has been mobilized. Now, there is actually a shift even from the education system. Now, we were more of a theory-based education system. Now, we are moving applied science or applied, mode of subjects we are moving to. This is because of the initiatives by the state government and the central government. That's number one. Every student has to take this as an advantage, right? So, while they are in engineering, not just in engineering, even for agriculture students, they came up with an ag hub promoting innovation towards agriculture. LV Prasad Hospital has an incubation center promoting innovations and technology related to ophthalmology. Yeah, Reddy Labs has got an incubation center. So every GMR has got an incubation center. They're working towards sustainable the energy, agriculture, and the sustainable food and all. So every institute is coming up with an initiatives. So student has to take an advantage of it. Student has to really understand the concept of an entrepreneurship, how they can enroll themselves into an incubation centers and acceleration center. That's number one. Number two is you should not start an entrepreneurship journey the minute you complete your education, because it requires you to put your hands on the ground. You really have to have that expertise, specialization, and then decide on your entrepreneurship.
I always tell my students, I've been teaching along with my corporate job, as you would know. I always tell my students that once you finish your course, even if you want to become an entrepreneur, go to the corporate sector, work there for 1 or 2 years, because it teaches you management, it teaches you how to be self-disciplined, how to manage teams, etc. So I agree completely with you.
Yeah, that's number two. Not only that, I mean, people think that when they get a salary, it's a job. No, get into internships. There are 6 months internship, 4 months internships. Incubation centers are actually announcing every month there is every quarter there is a cohort. Just get into some cohorts. Try to get a hands-on. Then work for 1 year, 2 years. Then you would really understand the depth and breadth of how do you make a business. Where do you venture? Then you would know your capabilities. Are you good at managing money, managing your time, managing people, running a business? You would really get to know when you work for a company. Then you start thinking of where to start, which business to start, how to start, where to get your funding, right? Then enroll yourself into incubation centers. They will give you a broad knowledge. They will help you with a lot of funding, the mentors, the facility. You wanted to have a design built, we have vworks. You wanted to have mentors, we have tworks. You wanted to have a prototype build, we have a tworks. So every facility is there. It's just that you really have to spend some time where you get your things done. That's number two. Number three is don't just go with the idea. Prove your idea. Get at least to a level of a prototype.
Well said.
Skin in the trade. Do your business till you earn or till you get your break even. Then get to an investor. Don't think investor would invest on your idea. They will never. They'll invest on your business if you show profits. That should be the third point they should consider. That's number three. Number four, when you're scaling up, you need to have your right team. Be it your friends, be it your family members who really understand the culture of the business, which can scale up to a $1 billion business or $1 million business, whatever. Have the right team. Number four is once you see a stage where you are really growing, you come out of it, because you cannot alone drive the entire organization. Have the right pillars. You come from one position to another position, have the right pillars, only then you would grow. So this is actually the real travel of an entrepreneur. And this has to be inculcated right from the engineering colleges or right from the degree or the masters. And then I think we should actually make a country where we can actually be on top 1 for the innovation or the startup index. We are really in that path, and students should take this path. And if one entrepreneur, it is equal to 10 plus the opportunities. And we will be a country for opportunities. That's the message I would like to give.
That's wonderful. Thanks for taking our students and our youth through each of the steps. But for those students who don't know what to do, who don't know how to approach T-Hub or V-Hub, but want to become an entrepreneur, what do you suggest for them?
Okay, so every quarter they have a schedule for T-Hub, V-Hub or Ag-Hub.
How do I approach T-Hub? How as a student I approach T-Hub?
Every incubation has a schedule when their next cohort would be. We can actually find their cohorts in their websites. They would announce it on few of the social networking. So when we see that, they will actually give a form that we can actually fill. But however, every cohort targets one particular the stream. One cohort could be on agriculture, one cohort could be a sustainable energy, one cohort could be on AI, one cohort could be on a machine learning or something like that. So if their idea or concept or entrepreneurship aspiration fits into it, they can apply for it. And there will be a list of questions, why he is aspiring, does he already have an idea, which stage of idea he is in, is this under prototype, is this under MVP. So they would ask these questions and they can submit it, and they would actually shortlist a couple of them. That's number one. Number two, they can participate in the events that are conducted by these incubation centers or the startup ecosystem enablers. That's number two. Number three, they can actually get along with few of the entrepreneurs or the startups who are doing similar kind of a streams. Imagine I am on ML, I'm building some platform related to AI or an ML, right? So you can approach an entrepreneur, you find them on LinkedIn, you find them what they are doing, just ask them, hey, I am aspiring to become an entrepreneur into your stream, I have some idea but I wanted to have a hands-on, or I wanted to work with you. Startups would take people with the entrepreneurship mindset, because that is required for the startups, and it's very easy. These are the three ways that they can get to know when are the cohorts, number one, and they can get along with the events that happens. Number three is knowing or networking with few of the startup entrepreneurs or the founders.
All right. So I want to become an entrepreneur. Will I get the funds? I don't have fund. My family will not be able to fund my entrepreneurship. I don't come from an entrepreneurship background. My father's working in a bank. How do you think funding can happen to these youth?
Yeah. So that's actually a good question. Every ideator or an innovator or entrepreneur thinks, I have an idea, I can make $1 billion business. Definitely not. Skin in the trade. You make, so there are institutions, there are organizations which will help you to make your proof of concept to get to that first stage of business. But you need to put all your efforts to make that successful. Yeah. To earn penny, to get a break even, if you can actually show that, we have lot of investment firms, seed and angel firms here in Hyderabad who would invest on your business if you can prove that your model or innovation or an idea is successful. And funding is possible, and there are grants as well from Startup India. Grants are there. There are grants from Telangana government, there are funds from Telangana government. So the possibilities are high, but you need to get to that stage. For you to get to that stage, organizations and institutions are there, and you should have that path well defined in your mindset.
Great. I agree with you, Suresh, completely. I will just add one more point is, when you want to become an entrepreneur or work in a corporate organization, especially for an entrepreneur, perseverance is absolutely essential. You cannot start up on one day, 3 months down the line and say, you can't say, I'm not going to be successful and move on to another business. This does not work. Perseverance, tenacity, and continuous perseverance. I would think these 3 points should be added to what you mentioned.
True, which I would actually, I would like to give with a good example. When I started Agrinest, we miserably failed 2 years. I funded so much, entire my family was like, you're not making a profitable business. I was just on it. I know when I will get a break even. Even today, I know when I get break even, 2025, I'm in 2023 right now, but still continuing that. That's number one. You need to have a consistent effort on that. That's number one. And number two is, if you have a proper plan, if you know when is your business break even or a gestation, okay, then you would get hit financially, morally, by any means, you know when you are getting through your business, right? So that's the plan, that's the gut, you should have it. That will come when you have a proper planning and when you know when you can get the break even, right? So these are the two things which is very important. Consistency, put continuous effort. You would fail 10 times. Agrinest failed miserably for first year, second year. Now we are progressing, but 2025, we know where we will stand.
When Suresh said he has failed, that doesn't mean he's a failure. He had the gumption, he had the willpower to get up, dust himself, and get on to the new venture. Great, Suresh. Lovely talking to you. What is your next adventure or venture? I would say adventure because your life has been a huge adventure by itself. What are your plans for the future?
So, by 48, I want to get retired. I wanted to be a mentor by myself. By that time, the ventures that I'm actually planning, one is AgriNest, the second NERS, number three is Roboxa. These three things we wanted to stabilize it. We wanted to have the right leaders and wanted to become a mentor. Be it Verma, myself, and Mr. Virendra, we wanted to become a mentor to support the rural entrepreneurs, and that's the close to my heart, and that's what I wanted to take it as a big adventure by the time I reach my 48.
All right. Wonderful talking to you, Suresh. I wish you all the best for all your future adventures and ventures and being a mentor as well. Lovely talking to you. Thank you so much for coming to our TV.
Yeah. Thank you. Same here. And I really appreciate taking time to interview me. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.